Hi everyone, it's Enya and Chris from Creativity Australia and the With One Voice choirs. We are here to give you the results of our national member survey for With One Voice. Woohoo! Chris, do you want to tell us how many people responded to this survey?
Oh, so many people.
So many people.
We ended up with 606 valid responses for the survey this year, which is absolutely incredible and a massive proportion of all of our singers across the network. So We're thrilled with everyone's help and all the work you put in to help us gather this important data.
The first interesting insight that we have from our survey is that 79% of respondents are women and 20% are men, and the remainder are people of another gender. And this is reflective of what we knew anecdotally, but something that we know now through statistics.
80% of our members reported feeling much better after choir than when they arrived, which is absolutely amazing. And add that to the 17% who said they felt a bit better, and you've got a 97% response saying that people feel better after choir rather than before, which I think is amazing and a real testament to the programs that we're running.
And that's the whole point of what we're trying to do here, is to make people feel a little better in their mind and in their body through our choirs. So it's great to see that 97% of our respondents feel that way.
Phew! Most of the meaningful moments that people responded talked a lot about performing in public with their choir. A lot of people mentioned just how welcome they feel and that sense of community. And also just that sense of connection and those real human connections they're getting at choir.
Some things that could increase your enjoyment at choir, which we will take back and feed into our programs as they continue to improve. Many people said they wanted more of certain types of songs, more performances, and more social aspects. So we're looking into how we can do that more.
We were delighted to see that 83.5% of people said that the choir has impacted their mental health in a positive way. And it's such a cornerstone of the why behind why we run our communities, is that we thoroughly believe, and the data proves, that this changes people's lives for the better.
Some of the specific health impacts that people described in the survey included improvements in mental health, reduced stress, increased happiness, and better overall well-being. Many of you reported feeling more connected to a community, feeling less lonely, and feeling an increase in social interaction in your lives, which is wonderful to hear.
Not to mention the health impacts of just feeling better, breathing better, and having a general sense of improved well-being. We were really interested to see how people's overall sense of community connection increased as part of being part of one of our choirs. And according to the survey, 87.9% of people think it's had a positive impact on their sense of community, which is just amazing. And that the effect of that ripples right through the community in lots of different ways.
The core reasons our choirs exist is to help reduce loneliness and the mental health impacts that come from it. We're so pleased to report that 68% of our respondents felt lonely less often after joining the choir. That's a really wonderful outcome for us.
In terms of what we can do to increase that sense of belonging in our choir community, lots of people talked about specific genres or eras of music they'd like to hear more of. Some people just the overall quality of choir and that sense of improvement together, and also just opportunities to interact socially outside of choir were really important to people as well.
When we asked how our members heard about our choir, interestingly, the majority of people heard about it through their friends and family. So the way that you can help our choirs continue to grow is through your friends and family.
Spread the good word, people.
We received such overwhelming praise for our conductors, and we know that our facilitators are incredible community leaders in themselves, and it's amazing to see all of the responses that came through, all of the positive feedback that came through about your leaders. So thank you for sharing, and we will share them back.
Overwhelmingly, that feedback was great. A few people gave us some really constructive comments about how choir could be structured better, or tailored for the needs of individual members, which is really valuable feedback for us, and certainly something that we will be taking on board as we develop our programs.
The top 30.
It's what you've all been waiting for. This was an interesting exercise in collecting data from everybody about their favourite songs, and whilst there's just a huge variation in what people enjoy, we also saw some really good trends in some of the music that that a lot of the choirs are doing. There's a big love for the song Drift Away, which surprises me after everyone's heard it so much this year. Hallelujah is always a classic. Good to see Lanterns, Rainbow Connection, and some of the others that we had on our shared repertoire. My Island Home came up there a fair bit, but some really good data here that we can take and help to build some more resources for the choirs about the music that you do like singing.
I think my key takeaway looking at all of the different types of songs that we have there is the variety of genres and decades, and the contemporary versus traditional songs that are clearly resonating with our choirs. And you will all know what songs resonate best with your choirs, but this is interesting to see the variety across them all.
There's some great data we've collected about the average age of our members, which gives us a really good snapshot. You can see that our average age in the With One Voice choirs is 61.46 years, and it's just about clicked over to 61.47 since we collected the data.
According to the data that we received, the youngest person in our choir is 8 years old, and the oldest is 104 years old. That's pretty incredible.
Amazing to have such a boiling pot of people from all walks of lives in the choir. It's a very powerful thing. A significant proportion of people who responded preferred not to say whether they lived with a disability or chronic health condition, or if they experienced financial hardship. So we may relook at how we gather this data next time.
What we know about collecting demographic information is that the way you ask the question is very important and will guide what responses you get. And that is a learning that we have had from this particular round of the survey. What we know is that our choirs have people from all different walks of life from them, and we will continue to try and gather information in safe and secure ways about what that looks like for each choir.
You can see from this slide a bit of a slice of all the different sorts of people we have from around Australia, including people with poor mental health, people with carer responsibilities are a big part of our demographic, multilingual people, culturally diverse people, people of colour, LGBTQI, and some of the other categories have some interesting data there as well.
As I'm sure you'd understand, it's a big task to organise this survey, collect the survey responses, and then to analyse. So this is our initial analysis of our national survey responses. We'll now be doing a deep dive into the individual choirs and feeding back all of those responses to our choirs. Thank you for your patience as we go through these results and make sure they are secure and safe and accurate. And thank you for responding.
It's been lovely to get to know you all a little bit better on a macro level, and we look forward to continually improving our programs and continuing the joy and connection in our choirs. Happy singing!
Bye!